and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Circle on Global Television. We are live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Anthony Momodu. President Bola Tinubu has taken a firm stand against the unjust stereotyping Nigerians as inherently corrupt. He expressed the view at a forum with the theme Public Engagement on Youth, Religion and the Fight Against Corruption, organized by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, in Abuja. The event also marked the launch of an interfaith manual and fraud risk assessment project for MDAs. Tinubu, who was represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, commended the EFCC for serving as a moral compass and persistently awakening the nation's conscience. He flagged the unfairness of labeling all Nigerians corrupt based on the actions of a few, stressing that the country was home to diligent and honest people. In clear terms, the president rejected the blanket mislabeling that taints the reputation of majority of Nigerian citizens. As part of its plans towards restoring the production of the oil mining license OML 245, also known as the Malabu Oil Well, President Bola Tinubu has ordered the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Hanneke Lokubiri, and other agencies of government to clear all court cases around the $1.3 billion deep water OML 245 oil block located in southern Niger Delta. Recall that the federal government had earlier expressed its readiness to restore production of the OML 245 in order to boost Nigeria's crude oil output. The decision followed Italy's ENI suspending arbitration regarding the oil field dispute with Nigeria and the subsequent conversion of the license from prospecting to mining in late November 2023. Other agencies that also received the order include the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, and Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. The Minister of Power, Bayo Adelabu, has listed unpaid debts and low gas supply as some of the reasons for the inability of power plants to operate to capacity. Adelabu stated this when he visited the Olorunshogun power plant in Papalanto, Ogun State, and the Omotosho power plant in Ondo State. The two government power plants being managed by the Niger Delta Power Holding Company was inspected by the minister, who said the tour was part of his nationwide visit to power installations of the federal government to inspect and monitor the physical state and the operational state of these power plants. The Minister of Environment, Balarabe Lawal, says the federal government will procure more arms for effective operations of the National Park Service. The minister disclosed this on Thursday when he paid an official visit to the headquarters of MPS and the National Biosafety Management Agency in Abuja. The minister stated that there is an ongoing collaboration with relevant agencies to clean the forests of bandits, illegal miners, and the coastal area where oil thieves and theft take place. The minister charged the NBMA to be more proactive in its approaches and to engage more in research to curb the inflow of unwanted genetically modified foods. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Hanneke Lokubiri, has confirmed that negotiations are on to finally end the dispute surrounding the OML 245 for the block to resume production in the national interest. Lokubiri disclosed this in Abuja as he revealed that the parties in the deal are currently negotiating to end the over 28 years crisis and litigation surrounding the prolific oil block in the next 1 month. Kikelomo Okere has the rest of the story.
In the light of recent discussion and misconceptions surrounding the resolution of issues surrounding OML 245, the Minister of State for Petroleum has offered clarity and dispel any misinformation that might have risen. It says the OML 245 is a significant oil block within the nation's territory, which has been subject to various litigation and discussions across different jurisdictions. It says the core issue resolved around the agreement between the federal government, Shell and ENI, wherein the federal government facilitated the transfer of rights from Malabo to Shell ENI in exchange for consideration. This process was conducted transparently in accordance with established legal frameworks. The minister revealed that throughout the legal proceedings, there has been no evidence indicating any criminal liability on the part of the federal government or any involved parties. All legal battles across multiple courts have concluded with outcome affirming the absence of criminal wrongdoing.
And so when they say I mounted pressure, I didn't mount pressure on anybody, but it is important that we resolve the problem. What is the problem among the parties about OML 245? We took ENI and other people, including Malabo and others, to courts in different countries. Like I said earlier, in Canada, in Milan, in the UK, in Switzerland. We lost all because there's no evidence to prove any case of corruption. And this block has been like that for the past 28 years. All of us, I'm sure, graduated before we're 28. So how can you have one block that could actually change the life of Nigerians? A very prolific block. That has been tied down for 28 years. What are the issues? Even if we continue with all the cases, the ones you had, he had no evidence. And so he lost all. And all these things happened within the last administration. And even if you guys get hold of, the book written by Malami, he himself said we were wrong. The idea of taking these things to different courts was wrong, but there's no evidence. Even the ones here, no evidence. So what we're trying to do is to see how we can discuss, resolve all the issues, so that all matters could be resolved, so that we can get the investment in Nigeria.
On the complexity surrounding the OML 245, the minister says President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has demonstrated astute leadership by directing efforts towards resolving the lingering issue. Meetings and discussions have been convened with stakeholders from various countries, including Netherlands, the UK, and Milan, to explore avenues for an amicable resolution. With just a 5% reserve investment ratio in the oil sector, which is the lowest globally in the last 5 years, the minister says there is an urgent need to boost the investment in the sector to avert an imminent economic crisis.
If you go to Brazil, it's 115%. If you go to Mozambique in Africa, it's 92%. If you go to Angola, it's 46%. If you come to Nigeria, 5%. If we do not do whatever we can to attract investments, the crude oil deficit we have here will be a souvenir not seen by you and I, that will translate to nothing in the next few years. And so my responsibility is to ensure that we do whatever we can, resolve whatever problems we have in the industry, so that we can attract sufficient investment to change the narrative. If we resolve the issues around OML 245, it will attract investment between $5 to $10 billion. It will change the story. So anytime somebody wants to invest, when we go for canvas, when we go to canvas for investment, people will say, oh, Nigeria is not attracting investment. This is psychology.
It further stressed that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's interest lies on the transformation of the vast natural resources into prosperity for the nation. It therefore urged citizens to remain patriotic and continue to build faith in the renewed Hope administration, as the President has supported the resolution of all issues around OML 245. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
The Public Accounts Committee of the House of Representatives on Wednesday directed the Federal Fire Service refund the sum of 1.48 billion naira within a week to the Federation account, being the intervention funds it received for the COVID-19 health epidemic, but which it cannot account for. The Bamidele Salam-led committee issued the directive following the failure of the service to appear at the investigative hearing for the third time. The deputy chairman of the committee, Jeremiah Omar, moved a motion for the refund of the amount. Omar added that since the service could not appear before the lawmaker to clear the controversy surrounding its COVID-19 expenditure, the right thing to do was to refund the sum of 1.48 billion naira it collected in 2020. UNICEF said it is set to dole out the needed technical support and policy framework that would help address poverty and revamp the social protection system in Abia State. The intervention is in collaboration with the European Union and the International Labour Organization, ILO. UNICEF expressed concern over the growing poverty rate in the country, stressed the need for homegrown solution in addressing the menace. Social policy specialist UNICEF Nigeria Abuja, Shegu, a delegation from the ILO met with Governor Alex Otti in Abia as UNICEF pledged support for the state government by putting in place policies and legislative framework that would help address poverty and improve social protection. Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State has signed into law Executive Order 001, which deals with the handling and storage of harmful substances. Makinde said the order became imperative in view of the January 16th explosion in the Bodija area of Ibadan due to the storage of explosives. He said such incidents would not reoccur in the state with the new law in existence, saying that the law would take its full course on anyone who violates it. A copy of the executive order stated that henceforth there must be mandatory notification and comprehensive inventory of harmful articles or substances of any kind that can be detonated by pressure, heat, impact, trigger, fuse, proximity, timing device, and others. The Akwa Ibom Command of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, has arrested 6 persons in connection with alleged illegal dealing in petroleum products and impersonation. Its commandant, Eluyemi Oluwade, who addressed a news conference on Wednesday in Oyo, said that the suspects were arrested along the Calabar-Etu highway on January 29th by operatives of the Anti-Vandal Squad. He said that the command also impounded a truck used by the suspects to convey the illegal products and a vehicle used as an escort. The NSCDC commandant said the suspects disguised themselves as a joint task force of a security agency and were found with a truck conveying about 45,000 liters of diesel to an unknown destination without the requisite documents. The Nigerian Army and the International Committee of the Red Cross have resolved to strengthen partnership in the areas of security and humanitarian assistance in troubled areas across the country. The partnership will also involve strengthening respect for international humanitarian laws to expand the frontiers of peace and stability in Nigeria. The commitment was reinforced when Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Tarid Lagbaja received the ICRC delegation in Nigeria, led by Yan Bonzon at the Army Headquarters, Abuja. In his response, the COAS appreciated the ICRC for its commitment to the provision of humanitarian aid to improve the living conditions of victims of conflict. The Nigerian Army has seized about 5 million liters of stolen crude oil worth billions of naira, a senior Army official has revealed. Major General Jamal Abdul Salam, the General Officer commanding GOC Nigerian Army Port Harcourt, led newsmen to the location of the seized petroleum product in Oyibo Rivers. He said discovered an intelligence report that uncovered a massive illegal refining site in the dense at the Komkom community in Oyibo. The report revealed the involvement of oil thieves and pipeline vandals who were supported by individuals who are undermining government efforts. The Nigerian steps to curb illegal bunkering and pledge the division's dedication to handling the menace. Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development Festus Keyamo has revealed that the EFCC is investigating the former minister Hadi Sirika over the controversial Nigerian air deal. Keyamo said no local airline would be designated as a national airline, stressing that it will establish a proper national carrier. Recall that in August, shortly after he was sworn in as Minister, Keyamo, a senior advocate of Nigeria, faulted the deal by Sirika and suspended the whole arrangement to enable a proper audit of contracts. The controversy surrounding the establishment of the Nigerian national carrier, Nigerian Air, had forced a veteran aviator, Gema Wake, to resign as chairman, Ethiopian Airlines. The police command in Lagos State has arrested a suspected cult leader whose gang attempted to forcefully take over a tricycle Keke Marua park in the Fadayi area. SP Benjamin Hudein, the command's public relations officer, confirmed the arrest. Hudein said that the suspect was arrested on Wednesday by operatives attached to Onipanu Division, adding that the police received information that 6 suspected cult members were harassing commercial tricycle operators at the Keke Marua Park in the Fadayi area. The command spokesperson said that during the investigation, the suspect confessed to being a member of the Black Axe confraternity. Many people were reportedly burned beyond recognition after a tanker suspected to be used by oil bunkers exploded in the forest of Obiti, Ohaji, Igbema local government area of Imo State. The incident happened at the Ndorama pipeline at the Obiti Roba estate of Ohaji, Igbama local government area of the state. Confirming the incident on Thursday, the Imo State Police Public Relations Officer, Henry Okoye, said the command had set up an investigation team to move in and unearth the immediate cause of the incident, as well as arrest the persons involved. A former Deputy Clerk of the National Assembly, Dr. Olaide Adelami, has been sworn in as the Ondo State Deputy Governor. Last Tuesday, Adelami was picked by the State Governor, Lucky Ayedatiwa, as the Deputy Governor, after which his name was sent to the State of Assembly for screening and ratification. When he held at the International Cultural and Event Center, Akure, on Thursday, the newly Deputy Governor was sworn in by the Chief Judge of the State, Justice Olusegun Odusola. You're watching News Cycle, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times Channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. When News Cycle returns, CBN orders banks to sell excess dollars in 24 hours. The news continues shortly with details of these and more stories right after this break. Do stay with us. If you're just joining us, this is Global Television bringing you live broadcasts of News Cycle. Thank you for staying with us. On the foreign scene, Israel's army has begun flooding Hamas's network of tunnels as intense fighting rages in Gaza, with the United Nations warning of a potential collapse of the humanitarian system in the territory after a funding row hits its Palestinian aid agency. The epicenter of the fighting in recent weeks has been the Khan Yunis, southern Gaza's main city, where vast areas have been reduced to a muddy wasteland of bombed-out buildings and where the AFP journalist witnessed people leaving town on Tuesday as explosions sounded nearby. The Israeli military, which has dubbed the vast network of tunnels the Gaza Metro, said it had begun flooding the underground complexes with water in a bid to neutralize the threat of Hamas' subterranean network. All 27 European leaders have agreed to a €50 billion aid package for Ukraine. European Council President Charles Michel said, adding that the agreement locks in steadfast, long-term predictable funding for Ukraine. There had been fears that the Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban would block the aid package, as he had done already at the European Summit last December. Orban had said he wanted to force a rethink of EU policy towards Ukraine and questioned the idea of committing to fund Ukraine for the next 4 years. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said he was grateful to EU leaders, highlighting that the decision was taken by all 27 leaders. And moving to the U.S., Donald Trump's attempt to bring a case in the UK court against a former M16 officer who wrote a salacious dossier linking him to Russia has failed. He had been seeking to use data protection laws to sue Obise Business Intelligence Limited. The company run by Christopher Steele compiled the dossier in 2016, which included unproven allegations about Trump. In bringing the lawsuit, Trump said the dossier contained allegations that were inaccurate and breached his data protection right. He added that he had not had the time to sue in the UK before 2023 because he had been busy being president. Anthony White, KC for Orban's Obis, told the court in October that Trump had accepted that the company was not responsible for the BuzzFeed's publication of the document. Let's turn to business, where the Naira depreciated to 1,490 Naira per dollar in the parallel market from 1,470 Naira per dollar on Tuesday, approaching the 1,500 Naira threshold. However, the Naira appreciated to 1,455 Naira 59 kobo per dollar in the Nigerian foreign exchange market. Data from FMDQ showed that the indicative exchange rate for NAFEM fell to 1,455 Naira 59 kobo per dollar from 1,482 Naira 57 kobo per dollar on Tuesday, indicating 26.98 appreciation for the Naira. Consequently, the gap between the official and parallel market exchange rate widened to 34 Naira 41 kobo per dollar Wednesday from 12 Naira 57 kobo on Tuesday. Amid its fresh moves to stabilize the nation's volatile exchange rate, the Central Bank of Nigeria has ordered deposit money banks to sell their excess dollar stock latest February 1st, 2024. The CBN, which made the disclosure in a new circular release on Wednesday, also warned lenders against hoarding excess foreign currencies for profit. According to officials, the central bank believes some commercial banks hold long-term foreign exchange position to enable them profit from the volatile movement of the exchange rate. The latest circular came barely 48 hours after the CBN released a circular warning banks and forex dealers against reporting false exchange rate, amongst others. Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development Festus Keyamo has said that no local airline will be designated as Nigerian national carriers, stating that doing so would be unfair to other local airlines. He said the ministry was working on establishing a proper national carrier instead of promoting local airline to be flag carrier. Keyamo added that when being told the national carrier was coming, it was not a national carrier but a foreign airline trying to fly Nigerian flag. He also said that there is an ongoing criminal investigation going on by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission regarding the controversial deal. And that's how we call it a wrap on News Cycle. I am Anthony Momodi saying thank you for watching.